Pharaons, and welcome in the new video. Today we have a style going on, but also I was filming another video, so you probably know which one. So the same day I'm recording my favorite kind of video. Finally I can record this video because I'm complete with one collection, at least for now, but there's no blood money still for me. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm done with my collection of eyeshadows, simple way, and I want to rank them because I love watching ranking videos of eyeshadow, especially from Jeffree Star, to be honest. But I'm going to do this with all my palettes, and I have 12 palettes that I can rank for you, so please keep on watching. And you'll see which one is my favorite. So the first one, the 12th place, is the ColourPop Glitter Palette. It's stunning, like, let me be honest, but I'm not using glitters every day. I just want to have this palette for combination if someone wants a glitter on my eyeshadow, or I want something like glitter liner, glitter eyeshadow, so I can gravitate towards this palette and I don't need to buy an palette with one metallic shade because that's not necessary. So I just wanted to have a palette with all the glitters so I can gravitate towards that if I wanted to use it. So that palette is not really a palette because you cannot make a look with just that palette. So right now we are going to, it's raining outside, I'm sorry. So the next palette is the Juvia's Place Core palette, and this is the place 11. I love the color story, but I also feel like there's not enough coral. I think the really true coral shades are these two, and the rest is kind of pinky brownish grayish. I'm not gravitating towards it. If I wanted to use a coral color, I usually tend to use blood sugar, to be honest. So I love the color story, but it's not what I expected, and I expected more corals, so that's why it's 11. Number 10 is the Nubian Juvia's Place palette. It's a really nude palette, so this is kind of the reason why it's on 11. You see, it's kind of used, so I love the palette, obviously, but it's not like my favorite kind of palette. I am in love with the shimmers in it. Like this shimmer is probably one of my favorite it's my favorite Juvia's eyeshadow. I love also this shimmer. I love this shimmer. I love the gold one. I love the matte, especially this brown. You see how it's used, and this brown, there's like a lot of usage of this too, and this is a pretty palette if you love nudes. I'm not a nude kind of girl. I love colorful eyeshadow because I love colors, let's be real, and that's why I gravitate towards this palette if I don't know, going to school on an interview, if I have my internship going on in a few months, I will gravitate towards this one. So the 9th place is the Nomad palette, and I love this palette so much. Like, this is the only palette I hit pan on. If you see, I'm really proud of this. I love this shade, obviously. Also love this middle shade. I love this kind of autumn vibe. I'm probably using this palette a lot this autumn. It gives really pretty autumn vibe. I think this palette is a perfect autumn palette. I wish there was a light and green in it in place of this metallic black brown, because I don't ever use that, but the rest of the colors are really pretty. So the 8th place is the Mini Breaker palette, also one of my newest palettes, which I use for just one look as far as I remember. I love the shade Oral, like, don't get me wrong, this is a pretty palette. Like, I'm not over this beauty of this palette. Also slices of such a pretty goldish color. I love it. But this is probably place 9 because well, I'm not that gravitated to those colors. I'm usually more toned down colors, so most of all pastels, and yeah, bubblegum is really pretty with and I really love this kind of yellowy toned, but this is not my favorite palette, but I still love it. There are better palettes in my collection, and my collection of palettes is really good, so I have no, not even one palette that I don't like. I just buy a palette that I'm sure I would like, so this is why it's number 8. Number 7 is a controversial thought, but I'm just going to put blood sugar on number 7. Why? I love this palette. This palette has a lot of sentiment for me. Because this was my first Jeffree Star palette, let's be honest. I love Sweetener. I love Candy Floss, I'm sorry, and Donor. Donor is, I think, my favorite shade in this palette. I love the first row, like the So Universal and this white. Oh my god, heads down. But the last row, I'm not even using this that much. Like, I don't like the blood sugar shade. I think if this was a matte shade, it would be absolutely stunning. And for example, this shade is metallic. I would really love to if those two are just turned around. Also, this shade is really patchy. I was so excited for this shade, but it's not even usable, and it performs pink on the eye. I don't like this. I really love the second row. I love the coral leaf shades, but this palette doesn't speak red to me. If I want to go with a red, I will probably use the red from Jawbreaker or another, or the red from Beauty Bay X Nikki palette, not from this one. So this palette is really beautiful, but if you come here for the reds, you probably won't like this that much. And it has a sentiment, that's why it's higher up than Mini Breaker, but I love the Mini Breaker color story a little bit more, but the sentiment gives my heart to this one. Number 6 is the Bloodlust palette. It's of course the purple, and if you know me, I love purple eyeshadow. That's my favorite color on the eye. So, if you look at this palette, I think you can easily say this is my color story if it comes to the purples. It's not that dark, like you have some dark shades, but there's not so many dark shades that you cannot work with it. So it's a perfect purple palette for me. And they are a new formula, so, and I'm really loving this formula, kind of topper formula, something in between glitter and metallic, and you have a lot of playground to use if you want some different color for your purple look. I really love Foul Serpent color, Royal Pain. I only think this black could be matte black with some kind of purpley tone instead of a glitter, but if you use it as a black, the glitter won't kind of fade away, so it's kind of performing matte if you ask me. And a Bleeding Heart, I wish that shade was just in blood sugar, let's be honest. And I love, for example, Scandal Water is also one of my favorite shades from matte in general. So yeah, that's, and I'm loving, my favorite shades from the palette is Take the Crown, like this shimmer. Oh my god, perfect. I love this color story. Why does it lands on oh my god, I kind of messed up. I kind of messed up, so that's alright. I am not filming this video again. This is not number 6, this is number 7, because I have 13 palettes. I just counted it wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna to fix it. This is number 7. This was number 8, and the rest, you know it, your flow. So this palette is number 7 because of the lack of neutrals. Of course, I want some neutrals in the palette, and this palette is only this one. So that's not a lot, so that's why it's number 7. I just want a little bit more neutrals so I can work with something. So number 6, right now I'm saying it all right, is the mini controversy. So my thoughts about this: pretty color story, and there's also a favorite shade in this palette, and which is my boyfriend's purse. I personally am a gold and silver lover, and I'm kind of always lacking the gold shades. But if when I saw this shade, I was like, oh my god, this shade is literally silver and gold in one. I'm swatching this for you guys, and I don't know if you see this, but this is literally silver and gold in one. I'm so in shock. There's such a shade like this. This is literally my favorite shade ever. Like, I was so in shock about this shade, and definitely I'm going to hit pan once. I love Put It Back shade. Like, I even love that it's shimmer. Like, I'm never the biggest fan of dark shimmers, but in this case I am. And also, I only thing I don't love about the palette is my apology. I wish it was a matte. Like I say, I always like darker colors to be matte, not shimmer, because shimmer brightens up the lid. So I sometimes have complaints with this, but I guess I'm not everyone. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. You can do whatever you want with it. This is my opinion about this palette. Also, the blues are stunning. Like this cancelled blue, oh my god, you would die. So my fifth place, so we are on top 5 right now, it's Blue Blood. So why is Blue Blood my 5th place? Because they are neutrals in the palette, there are blues in the palette, and that's exactly what I want. The darkest shade of this palette is stunning. I never say this because Coma is kind of purpley, like in the Blood Sugar palette. I wish it was more like a Bordeaux red deep color. It's not. This one is a deep blue color, which is perfect for deepening up the eye. My favorite color in the palette is obviously Climax, the best shimmer white I've ever seen. Um, I also love Ice Tray. I love the first row in general. It's you can create such a natural look, and also these two, like this is perfect shade crease color for someone like me, someone that's this pale. So someone that's pale and can use this palette literally for a natural look, and you need to love some blues. I love me some blues sometime right now, so that's why I literally want to have this palette for so long, and I never regret it. So the 4th place, right, is the Cremated palette. Why? This is the first palette I see that's literally my fantasy. Like, I'm a cool toned kind of girl. I want a cool toned palette. And this is cool toned as fuck, bitch. My favorite shade, Afterlife. Definitely because this is a goldy silvery. It goes with both. Love the new formula like Diamond Ashes, Paul Bear, Angel of Death. Love this black. It's really buildable, so it can be black, but it also can be a little bit black. So you know, not that in your face. Also, very much a playground for the setting shades, kind of grayish too. Every color is different, so I don't know what people are talking about in the videos. I'm definitely seeing every color of the palette, so I'm pretty much not colorblind. So yeah, that's this. I love doing my everyday looks with this palette. It's like a grayish palette, but it's a really good palette for everyday looks. I love it. Like, that's why it's number 4 for me. It's my neutral palette. So I don't need, pretty much I don't need Orgy anymore because I have this one. And I have Nubian, so that's a kind of in between ground on the neutrals for me. The 3rd place is going to be Conspiracy Palette, and why is this my number 3 is because of how many colors this palette has. The first row is my neutral preferable row. When I want to have a neutral look, I tend to use this palette a lot. Like, you see how many times I use Tannic on a root beer. It's not even healthy. and this yellow shade is stunning. Like, let me say this. Oh, this burgundy color, I wish it was in blood sugar. I love this black. This is a really black. I also love Illuminati color. I don't know, I'm usually not into the dark shimmers, as I said, but Illuminati is just stunning. Also Diet Cola, also one of my favorite shades with food videos from this palette. It's such a beautiful silver, like it's shining on and it's just silver there, bitch. You see this? Silver. Silver. Literally. So I use this palette a lot. Every single day of my holiday, I gravitated toward this palette. So that's a lot. So right now we have a... Okay, first of all, before you even get to know the top 1 and top 2, write in the comments what you think is my top 1 and what you think is my top 2. And right now I'm going to show you my second favorite palette, which is Jawbreaker. Yes, Jawbreaker is my second and was such a long time my first. Why? The color story is so colorful, it's so pastel-y. I love Gumdrop. I bought the palette because of Gumdrop, and wow, still my favorite shades. And Snack, I got to love that shade. And my perfect setting shade, which you see it's used a lot, is this one. Also, this one was used so many times in my inner corner, you don't even want to know. So you see, this palette is loved and abused by me. Definitely my favorite, was a very long time my favorite palette. And it has a good amount of neutrals, because this one are neutral, this bottom, these two are neutral. You can do Jawbreak on your lid or Snack. That's a really neutral color combo, enough for me. So that's why it's number 2 for me. So right now my ultimate favorite palette from the day of today is the Nikki X Beauty Bay palette. First of all, the color combo, perfect. I never say this. And the shimmers, perfect. All are not that dark, so this is the only dark one, but it's not that dark. So the shimmers she chose are perfect. Also, why is my favorite number 1? I picked up a brush. I dipped one time in some shades and they performed in one time on my lid with a set base. Yes. And if I didn't set the base, it would be probably a half dip. So this palette has a pigment of, oh my god, it's so good. Like, if I say this to you, this pigment is insane. This red is the first red I got to love so much, because it's true red. I never saw true red. And I have so many palettes, so definitely that's going to be used by me. This green is my favorite color of this palette. Let me say this quick. Why? Because it's green, it speaks green to me, and I was searching for this kind of green for my hoodies, for my shirts, for my eyeshadow, and I already have this green, so I'm really happy. Anyways, also what I wanted to say about this palette is the dark side is not this dark, so I can use every single shade of this palette in every single look, and that's what I was looking for in a palette, is to use every color. Also, Basic Truth is a perfect setting shade. Yes, I speak Dutch very fluently. When I lived 11 years in Netherlands, I can speak Dutch, so I can say vla, Basic Truth, zomer, and what is more, in the Netherlands, I think that was it for the Netherlands names. Yeah. So yeah, that's for the color story. That's why it's my favorite palette. Also, the mirrors, magnetic and normal, really good. The price point, 30 euros. You can compare it to Jawbreaker, which is 60 euros. So you can have 2 of these palettes when you can have Jawbreak, of course, Jawbreak is worth the money because you have a lot of pastels that you don't have in this palette. But personally, I would gravitate more towards this one if I could choose. Um, I love the shimmer formula in this one. You apply it with the finger, but it's really intense. Like, I wear this palette today, and I have pride in my inner corner. And such a pretty shade. Also, the lid colors, I use 4 shimmers for this look. So, Roxy, Catan, Ivy, Pride, and Mama Tutorials. Also, I love this eye more because I'm more into the green, blue, and purples. But I also love this eye. This gives me more of my vacation vibe, you know. And this one is just stunning, like my everyday eye would be. So this is my favorite palette. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I messed up the numbers because I cannot count apparently. um, I will see you in the next one, and I hope I made some good points for you to buy a palette. Of course, you can have other needs than me because I have no nails. I can really easily do my eyeshadow with the finger, but if you want to have nails from Tiger, yeah, that's not really something for this palette. So yeah, that's just my tip. um, Maybe you have a color story that speaks to you more than for me personally, so for everyone could be different. This is my rank, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, Pharaons!